Brittany Renner has come to the Pearly Think show, stating that she regrets her past life. Let's understand what happened and why she got to this situation. Let's watch this first extract.
I want to know my body count. I don't know why in like 2018 that's any of your fucking business or why it matters. Sheesh. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo! 5 entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only fucked 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spreading all the timeline playing with my pussy. In my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb. I don't like talking about my history with men I'm dating, I guess until now, because most of the guys that I've dealt with are gonna have more money than you. And you're gonna feel a way about it. I know the male ego is fragile, like the ball sack that hangs in between your legs. Conclusion. Like, I don't even look at people as like trashy or not. It all comes down to mentality.
Dad must be.
It all comes down to mentality? Seriously? I think she's a gold digger type, for sure. She's definitely sleeping with certain type of men for their money. That's okay if you lack security and you lack provision. But don't say that you're not a gold digger. Don't say that you're not a promiscuous woman just because you sleep with loads of different men. 20 body count? More than 20 body count? And this is a low body count in your opinion? Wow, that's crazy. Let's watch the next extract.
You did a video talking about sucking dick.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's an art.
yeah, but women aren't that blunt just in public about that. Where do you get that?
I do enjoy dick sucking. I
have-
like to talk about it.
Even though per society standards, I was someone who, low body count. No, I had not talked to any famous guy, never been around. I had a big following. An ideal situation, right? Starting out in Hollywood, already labeled a whore, a liar, a gold digger. So when I think about how my origin story began, like my villain origin story, it was that.
Your origin story started because you went all over the internet stating that you like sucking dicks. You like committing promiscuous acts with different men all the time. So don't come here and say that you were treated as a whore before everything happened. You went on the show, you started talking about your different sexual past, you were starting talking about how to get a check out of a man just by having a baby, using a human being as a wallet, and now trying to stand on this moral high ground. I don't think it works really well. You can definitely say that you regret your actions. When you've done something wrong, you can regret your actions, but actions have consequences. And it's not surprising that the world treat her as a gold digger, treat Brittany Renner as a gold digger, as a promiscuous woman that only uses what she has between her legs in order to get the result that she wants. In life, you have bad consequences for bad actions. That's how it works. Quick money comes with long-term, slow problems. That's one of the things that you have to understand. If you're making quick money sleeping with loads of different guys, if you're making quick money because you're selling pictures half naked on Instagram, or because you have an OnlyFans account, then that's going to come with slow, big problems. And you have to realize it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing this type of actions. However, you have to be accountable for your actions. If you are not accountable for your actions, then you're living in a lie. Especially when you're surprised that people are going to interpret your actions as something specific, as being a gold digger, as being a whore. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself questions about why you've done this type of actions and what are the consequences for you. But not only the consequences for you, because this action of sleeping with an athlete and getting a kid has been premeditated. And it's very clear now, especially with PJ Washington. He was a young basketball player, full of potential, and she spotted him in order to be her prey. And that's obviously dreadful for the guy, and especially dreadful for the baby that's going to be raised without his dad. I've heard that now he has another baby mama somewhere else. Apparently, he's getting married this time, which is probably better. But the consequences of your actions are going to be there to haunt you. Especially as a woman. If you have a baby with a different man, it's going to be very complicated for you to go and secure another high-value man. And it's not surprising that the internet doesn't forget your history, especially when it's this type of trashy behavior. Bad, nasty, and naughty behavior. And now we have to ask ourselves questions. How does a woman get to this stage? How does a woman get to the stage where she has to sell her body in order to gain financially? How does a woman have to open her legs just to get this type of outcome? To get quick money? The answer is very quick. It's very low self-esteem. And the society pushing women to be promiscuous as well. Low self-esteem is translated into bad behavior. And the question is why this woman has bad and low self-esteem. It comes down to the childhood. You might know that Brittany Renner was not raised by her parents, sadly. She was not raised by her dad or by her mother. She was raised by her grandparents. And that makes a difference. Even though they were loving grandparents, they really wanted to give the best to the kid. It's not the same to be raised by your grandparents and to be raised by your parents. Let's watch the next extract and understand what happened.
There's a quote that said that your mom liked.
You didn't even want to say it. Black dick.
I don't even want to say it because your mother's right there. I mean, you know
my
what I'm
mom
talking
read
about,
the
though,
book.
right?
We've had several, like, you got to understand about my family. So my family is very supportive of who I am. My mom read my book and she was like, I didn't know you felt that way, but you are entitled to feel how you feel. And I think there was a lot of things that I said that were very hurtful to her. But the reality of the situation was I could only express how I felt with the awareness I had then. So I didn't really find out a lot of truth to my grandparents until I was about 26. So it's like that's all I knew. And my family has always had a hate campaign against my mother. So your whole life you're being told your mom's not this, your mom's not that, she's boy crazy, she doesn't care about you, like she doesn't even want to be around. Like when you're having your head filled with those thoughts, what else are you supposed to believe your whole life? So yeah, for a long time, my mom and I were at odds because I didn't understand her. I didn't know why she didn't want to be around. And a part of me resented her, like, why are we being raised by my grandparents? You know?
That's exactly the point I was making earlier. When a mother doesn't take accountability for her actions, she doesn't actually spend time loving her kids. This is the type of result that we are getting. This is the type of result that the society is getting. And it's dreadful because this woman has been raised full of trauma, full of nasty memories, thinking that she doesn't deserve to have a loving mom, thinking that she doesn't deserve to have loving parents around her because she was raised by her grandparent. And for a woman, or even for a man, that's dreadful. And then you have to ask yourself that if a pretty woman like this manages to still get money out of life, selling what is between her legs, then what about the average woman that has been raised by either a single mom or with no parents around? The consequences are going to be way worse. And this is why as a society we have to decide to not support this type of behavior. We should keep our daughter out of the street. We should keep our daughter as much as possible out of this type of promiscuous behavior. Ideally, what we want as a society is for our boys to be raised as strong men, strong leader in the house, loving to their wives. And for women to be respectful wives, respecting their husband and being part of a loving family. That's what we want. And this is very important that we all understand this. In order for a human being, a kid, to be healthy, this kid needs to have strong parents, biological parents. You can be raised by your grandparents, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same love as if you were raised by your parents. And even adopted parents, with all the love in the world, do not raise as a healthy kid as biological parents. So the best model for a kid is to be raised by both or his or her biological parent. At the end of the day, what I want us to remember, we should keep our daughter out of the street, preventing them to turn out as Brittany Renner, full of trauma and having to sell her body in order to achieve in life. Similarly, we should make sure our sons are strong enough, good leaders, that they can build strong family. And hopefully, we can make sure that our sons choose high-value women instead of trashy women. If you want to understand what is a high-value woman, I would recommend you to watch this video. And hopefully that should keep kids out of single parenthood and parents can raise kids together. That's what I wish.